Installation of heatsink on Walker's Game Ear Razor headsets and similar is very simple, but you will need one tool, a coin. We're going to use that to remove the ear pads and the headband. To remove the ear pad, we're going to take the coin and we're going to push it between the gap between this rotating plastic clip that the headband connects to and the plastic plate that the ear pad is sitting on top of. So basically, I'm going in between right there, and what I'm going to do is push in until it stops and then pull backward. Now just watch as I pull backward, the ear pad was going to pop right off. Now, the ear pad is removed. I'm going to take the ear pad and I'm going to inspect it. So there is a top and a bottom. The top has a completely rounded surface and it matches this contour. On the bottom, it's more faceted and it matches that contour. So I'm going to take my heatsink and I'm going to wrap it over top of the pad and this plastic plate. The heatsink is oval and it has a longer and shorter axis. So if I look on the bottom side, just like this pad and plate, there's a long axis and a short axis. I'm going to line up these holes. There's a hole here and a hole here. So there are two holes on the heatsink, and they both go on the long axis in the middle. And so I'm going to approximately line them up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from this side, and I'm going to try to tuck this innermost black fabric underneath the pad and underneath the plastic plate. Now, with the Razor headset, there is a piece of fabric that's underneath, and it prevents you from getting this fabric all the way through. So we just need to get as much as we can tucked underneath, and we can adjust the heatsink itself by manipulating this portion and allowing more of the inner fabric to be moved. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a stainless steel wire locking ring. Why do I call it a locking ring? Well, we're going to bend it into this oval or ring shape. It's like a C almost, and a little bit more. And this wire ring is going to trap this fabric underneath the pad and underneath the plastic plate. So I'm going to bend it into that shape, as I showed you, and I'm going to come in from the front, and I'm going to go from this side, and I'm going to push down, and I'm going to create that oval. I'm going to push down more on this side, and then I'm going to allow that locking wire ring to slip underneath the pad, underneath the plastic plate, and basically tuck underneath. And what that does is that locks everything in place. So now if I grab this fabric, it will not come off. You'll know it won't come off if you pull this all the way over and it stays in position. Now what we can do is we can flip this 180 degrees because I need to make sure that the outline is correct, and I'm going to make sure that that's good, move this over, and disconnect the headband. How do we disconnect the headband? Same tool. We're going to pry it off. I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to make sure that this rotating plastic clip is oriented in this long axis. And I'm going to use this as leverage to pop off this plastic clip. You must use leverage. If you try to use your hands to pull this off, it can be extremely difficult. We're going to do this on both sides. Now the reason we do this is because we want to expose this arm or nub on both sides. And when we reattach the pad and plate, which we're going to do now, push it down until it snaps in place. Those holes that I mentioned before, they actually slip over top. And then we can pull the fabric over. And you'll see here that we have a professional looking installation, just ready for the headband to be reattached. Just in case this arm comes off, it can only be inserted one way, and you can twist it 90 degrees in order to move it up and down. So now we're going to reattach this headband retaining clip by pushing straight against the headset. Snaps into place. We do that on the other side. You'll have one side of the heatsink installed. You can move on to the next.